What's up YouTube, it's Louis here. I hope you're all well today. Finally, it's cooled down, but it's still hot enough that I do need the fan on, so really do apologize if you can hear it in the background. But yeah, I can't go on without it. Today I want to look at the previous chart. I want to compare this over here to this and look at the exact moves and how they're similar. And I also want to, if we look into a bit more detail into this actual move over here, I want to go into detail about how, and I posted it on my Twitter yesterday, so make sure you're following my Twitter. But on Twitter yesterday we're talking about how this over here is the same as this, okay? So it's kind of confusing because they're overlapping, but we'll get into it into a bit more detail. Of course, in the video, we'll look at the actual fractals, so we'll pick them up and paste them over here or something like that. But again, we're trying to hit 200 likes. We haven't been able to hit it in the last few days, but there's still 1,000 of you watching. So come on, guys. It literally takes 1 second, and we're trying to push for 3.2k by the end of this week. Come on, guys, let's really start pushing for that, and as well getting the engagement up and leaving comments down below if you're a new face, if you're finding value in the video today. But what I will say, if we go to this Quant Bitcoin chart right here, there you go. So we're going to look at these two fractals that I spoke about on Twitter yesterday. So this one, A, is this circle over here going up until that peak over there, and then B is from this pump up over here, or obviously onwards. So we can see the only difference between these two fractals is this point here, right there. So you can see even this was exactly the same. Then we formed some sort of double bottom, but we never broke that neckline here. We completely busted through the neckline. So it seems as if we're running into this previous support potentially now as resistance. It's an area. It's not going to be an exact line. It's more like an area of support. So we'll draw that on the chart right now, that area of support that we're running into. It's this previous support, now resistance. This is actually the level where I told you guys, and as well as on Bitcoin, I told you guys, if we lose this support, we're going to lose this low. And the main reason is we were in this red zone for a much longer period of time on separate occasions. So you come down once, twice, 3 times, even a 4th time there, but it didn't work out on the 4th time. So we'll just go over the 3. And over here, you only came down to it once before eventually losing it. So again, this red box was a much stronger support than the one below. And this is something that I do explain on today's Bitcoin update. If you want more clarity on what's going on in the market, guys, I urge you, all of you, every 1,000 of you, every one of the 1,000 of you here, go watch the Bitcoin update. It's going to make these quant videos so much easier to understand, guys, because I go into way more detail on the Bitcoin updates. Why? Because Bitcoin is the only chart that truly matters, to be honest. Without Bitcoin, this is not going to go in a bull market. Without Bitcoin, this is not going to go in a bear market. You need Bitcoin to move the market for you, and that's going to determine bull or bear. But looking at the areas, we can see this is going to be a key support. So we have to do the same when we're coming back into this area, which is over here. This is going to be a key support. So what's going on right down here, you need to take this as literally just pretend this circle B is the top of the bull market. This here is the top of the bull market, just like this here is the top, actually the top. Remember, the two fractals are exactly the same. The only difference, we've actually broken out bullish on this attempt, where here we actually went down bearish, and it was from here onwards. So this point here is that point there, and then this point here is this point there. So they're overlapping, but it's the exact same pattern. We can take that this here is this with the double top basically, and then we've got some, I don't know, whatever, but it looks exactly the same, and then we've got a double bottom that actually panned out. So this is why I can tell you guys, in fact, yes, we are bullish. So I hope you guys are appreciating the fractal. So what I'm trying to get at is whatever happens over here, the same thing is going to happen over here, and I'm talking about the movement. So here we have that double bottom. So once we obviously get above that, where did we pump until? There was some resistance here, but also some support, some resistance here. So the two areas would be here, around 220 to 240, and this support over here, slash resistance, $250, just like these two areas here. These two areas could be resistance. Here you completely broke through it. So could it be that you completely break through that in the future? So yeah, just keep an eye on these fractals. If you appreciate everything that I do for you guys, okay, smash the like button, subscribe and comment. As you know, we're trying to hit 3.2k subscribers by the end of this week, and we're trying to hit 200 likes on this video. So let's now finish off the video going back to the Quant Bitcoin chart. and looking at how we were able to call this downfall. So we saw on the daily, I guess, yes it was, we saw this head and shoulders basically. This is your neckline, this red line, but there's also another neckline, an ascending one, just like that. You have a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder over here. And what's actually funny is that we also saw this in the previous bear market, exactly the same thing. So I'm going to have to zoom in for you guys over here. And you can see we have a shoulder right here, a head, and another shoulder. And we had our neckline like this, ascending neckline. And of course, measure the target like this, put the target on the breakout. And we also had this failed double bottom over here. Failed double bottom after the head and shoulders. That's interesting. I swear we saw a head and shoulders followed by a failed double bottom. Exactly what we just said. So shoulder, head, shoulder, a failed double bottom. Now in this scenario you have a double bottom lower, and this area, remember, is the same as this area. On this attempt you actually broke the resistance, here you didn't. So this is why this time it is actually different, and why we should anticipate 150. Although this is a key resistance and we should actually come down, the bulls can just push us up. Reason being, we reclaim that $83 low, we reclaim that low there, so we're trapped in this range. Or you can say $50 is the support, 150 is the resistance, and $83 is sort of your midpoint, your mid resistance, your mid support. So if we do come down, this is where I anticipate we find support. Why? Because this is where you bounced from 83 all the way up to 168, so a 100% pump. So this is why we should anticipate the exact same thing in the exact same trading zone, in the exact same range. So yeah, that's what we're anticipating for Quant. Finally, I haven't looked at this yet, but I want to see how we got out of this. It's not exactly the same as last time with these moves down here, you can see, but when we did get to the 200 EMA here, we haven't really gone down, although that's what should happen. Again, if Bitcoin wants to just fly, then this is going to fly too, to be honest, guys. And you can see here, even though we ran into the 200 daily EMA, and that means we should come back and test this as support, you actually just continued, and you actually broke above the 200 EMA and continued for another 60%. So what would that be? 50s to 60s, let's check. So from the 200 EMA, around 50 to 60%. So about 50% would be in and around 150, 160, and then 60% in around 170. Why is 170 so interesting? And also it being 60s in the 60s, just like the last break of the 200 EMA. Well, this is interesting because as we look back here, this is where you found some sort of resistance, correct? Well, if I go back to here, oh, perfect, your car's working, amazing. Abby's car, her battery died, guys, but yeah, she hadn't had her car for a few days, but yeah, all sorted out. And yeah, what is so interesting is from the 200 EMA, look, around 70, 80, yeah, because this is obviously ascending. I would need to go on the weekly to get the daily to get the most accurate line, just like that, on the bodies, yeah, that's fine, perfect. So yeah, of course, the longer it takes to come up here, the higher this resistance is, but just know that again, this will be a resistance in the future. And of course, if this is going to be a support, if we were to break above it, then of course this is sort of going to be a range or some sort. That's a long way away, guys. We do really need to confirm this as support first. We just were anticipating that it comes down first, but of course, if Bitcoin pumps, if alts pump, then it could be that we try and hit 150 and then come back down. Then there's the risk, okay, we could actually fall through it. We don't want that. We need to confirm as support. So I'd much rather that happen here, confirm as support, head to the high. But if not, if we do continue, at all costs, you must hold 83 if we were to right now go up there. So that's pretty much it for today. Again, hit the like button, 200 likes on the video, 3.2k by the end of the week. If you want the education where I teach this all to you, I have the mentorship and the course. But unfortunately, for this month, as in July and a lot of August, I just don't have availability for the mentorship. So for the moment, just a course. But if you really are dying for mentorship, you know, you want to start around the end of August or September, message me now before all the slots are gone, because we had 5 people join this week. Thank you, guys.